What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. Today, we have got to talk about WNBA All-Star, and there is so much to go over, so let's jump right in. Now, in yesterday's video, we talked about Caitlin Clark and Naphessa Collier being named the 2025 WNBA All-Star captains, and that was decided by a fan vote. Now, there was a record-breaking number of fans who voted this year for All-Star, so that was really cool to see. But since last night, the WNBA All-Star starters and reserves were also announced. So the All-Star Game starters include, of course, Caitlin Clark and Naphessa Collier, Aaliyah Boston, Paige Bueckers, Nneka Ogwumike, Satou Sabally, Brianna Stewart, A'ja Wilson, Alicia Gray, and Sabrina Ionescu. And I think everybody was content with seeing these starters. All of the players on this list are having great seasons. And when it comes to the WNBA All-Star Game this year, the overall scores for the top 10 finishers are based on 50% of the fan vote, 25% of the player votes, and 25% of the media votes. So there's like this weighted calculation that they use to decide the top 10 players who would be the starters and then also to decide the reserves. But the thing that really stirred up the internet last night was when we found out how the players ranked some of their fellow players, and of course specifically Caitlin Clark. So if we look at this chart right here, you can see that there are three categories: the fan rank, the media rank, and then the player rank. And if you look at Caitlin Clark, she was the number one in fan rank, and we also saw that with the fan voting. She had over 1.29, I believe, million votes just for her to be a WNBA All-Star. And then the media ranked her as the third best guard, and the players ranked her as the ninth best guard. Now, if we look at this chart for both the guards and the front court, there are not that many players who have that wide of a discrepancy between the media rank and the player rank. And I actually tweeted this from my account last night. I said, so much wasted energy face guarding, blitzing, and double teaming the ninth best guard in the league. Now, this tweet in itself has 1.5 million views, and a lot of you guys were agreeing with me on this. Unfortunately, I am not surprised that the players ranked her so low. However, I do take it as a sign of disrespect to Caitlin Clark. I know that she hasn't had her greatest season. I also know that she has been out with injury, but there is no person in the world who can convince me that there are 8 better guards than Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. And I also think it's so interesting because if you look closely here, the players have the first, second, third, 2 players tied for 4th, then the 6th, 7th. There is no 8th place guard in this player rank, and then it goes to 9th, and then there is no 10 or 11, and then it goes to the 12th player rank, and then there's no 13, 14, 15, and then Kelsey Plum has the lowest player rank among guards at 16th. So obviously there are a few other guards in this league that the players ranked higher, and they thought that they should have been in WNBA All-Star. Now, when you go to the weighted scores, Paige Bueckers actually had a higher weighted score than Caitlin Clark. The fans ranked her at 2, the media ranked her at the 5th best guard, and the players ranked her as the 4th best guard. And huge shout out to Paige Bueckers. She is having a great season, and I feel like she is progressively getting better. However, if you are going to rank Paige Bueckers 5 slots above Caitlin Clark at this point in time, even if we look at the statistics of the two of them, it just doesn't make sense. Now, I also find it interesting because the media ranked Alicia Gray as the best guard. She is up there in the MVP conversations. However, I think that Naphessa Collier has kind of run away with it at this point, but the media has her ranked at 1, and then they have Sabrina Ionescu at 2. And a lot of people were pointing out the fact that Sabrina was ranked number 2 amongst players. However, just in 2023, the year before Caitlin Clark came into the league, Sabrina was ranked the 19th best guard in the league by the players, and she was an All-Star that season. So it honestly seems to me like the fan votes were one thing, the media votes are another thing, and I don't agree even with all of the media ranks here. We'll get more into that. But it also seems like the players' vote is a popularity contest. It's the players voting for their friends, voting for the people that they respect, and it's not truly about skill at all. Am I surprised? No. Am I disappointed? Yes. this. You have somebody in Caitlin Clark who became the face of the league the first year that she was in the WNBA. She put up crazy numbers last season, and even in this season where she has struggled more games than she has balled out, she is still putting up wild numbers, and she still makes such a difference on the court. I just don't understand, if she is your 9th best guard in the league, why do you continue to game plan and play defenses the way that you do against her? Why would you need to pay such close attention to the 9th best guard in the league? Why would you need to face guard her full court? Why would you need to blitz her off of any screen? Why would you need to be physical with her if she wasn't that great of a player? Or you're just wasting your energy and you just simply don't like her. It's either one of the other. Either you're doing all of this because you're trying to stop her because you know how lethal she can be on the court, or you're doing all of this because you don't like her. And what many media and what many players have said is that they have no issues with Caitlin Clark. They don't mind her. She's great. They like her. So it has to be that she's a good player, and that's why you're playing defense the way that you are on Caitlin. The disconnect to me just doesn't make sense. You either don't like her or she's that good. So pick one. But if you really think that she's that good, then I feel like she should have been voted by the players differently. And I'm honestly not going to harp on this too long because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, but it does just show the disrespect within the league. And no matter what Caitlin does, it seems to be something where she's either going to have to tirelessly earn the respect of her colleagues or she's never going to get it. And I'm just not sure what she could actually do to get respect from her colleagues at this point in time. This also lends some truth to the narrative what Sophie Cunningham said in a recent interview that went semi-viral. She said that everybody has the Indiana Fever circled. Nobody likes the Indiana Fever. If they are feeling that, then there might be some actual truth to it. And what also stood out to me on these player ranking things that we just found out about is Aaliyah Boston was also ranked the 9th best, I can't even say it with a straight face, 9th best front court player in the WNBA, and that is just absurd. Aaliyah Boston is having the best season of her career, and in seasons prior, she was ranked higher by the players than she is this year. So there has to be some sort of proximity thing to Caitlin Clark. Maybe it is an Indiana Fever team thing. Maybe players just truly don't like the Fever, like Sophie Cunningham alluded to in her interview. What I also thought was interesting when we're talking about the front court is that the players ranked Kiki Ariafen above Angel Reese. They have Kiki at 8, who is also above Aaliyah Boston, and they have Angel Reese at 12. And while I would agree that Kiki is having a great season, she is doing so much better as a rookie than I could have imagined. Overall, she has not been playing better than Aaliyah Boston, and in the last stretch of 4 games, Angel Reese has outplayed her significantly. Now, something else I wanted to point out is that Naphessa Collier was the #1 fan-ranked player in the front court. The media ranked her 2, and the players ranked her 2. This one was also insane to me because Naphessa Collier is having an incredible season, and like I said, it is kind of like Naphessa Collier and then everybody else when it comes to the MVP race. She is running away with it on all fronts, and the media has A'ja Wilson ranked first, and the players also have A'ja Wilson ranked first. Now, if you're just going by how they are doing this season, I don't think that A'ja Wilson should have been ranked first by the media who is watching all of these games, and also by the fans, and also, by the players who are playing against A'ja. I get it. There was a huge push last year for A'ja to be MVP, and I also think that A'ja earned her MVP last season. However, if you just look at how A'ja's been playing this year and you look at how Naphessa's been playing this year, Naphessa has been playing better than A'ja. Can that even out, and can these two battle it out once again for MVP for the rest of the season? Yes, but if we are talking about the games before All-Star break, I do think that at least the media deserved to rank Naphessa Collier 1. And that is, again, just if we're going by basketball. I'm going to dissect this just a little bit more because I want to point out the only few players where there was a discrepancy between the fan and media ranks and the player ranks. So first, I want to point out Kelsey Plum. Now, Kelsey Plum is media ranked 6 and the players ranked her at 16. Kelsey Plum just went from the Aces to the Sparks, and she's playing well for the Sparks, and she is definitely leading that team. And she is tied with Brittany Sykes, who plays in Washington. Now, Brittany Sykes is ranked 6th by the media, but she is ranked 7th by the players, so there's not as crazy of a discrepancy. So whatever is going on with this in the popularity contest between players is crazy. It's a 10-point swing between the media rank and the player rank. And another big one was Natasha Cloud. So the media ranked Natasha Cloud Cloud at 8, which I think is extremely fair. And the players ranked her as the 4th best guard in the WNBA. She's tied for 4th with Paige Beckers. Again, I think this goes to a popularity contest. A lot of people love Natasha Cloud. She seems very likable. And then lastly, I want to talk about Kelsey Mitchell. The media ranked her the 11th best guard in the WNBA, which I think is slightly disrespectful. And the players ranked her as the 6th best guard. So at the end of the day, you guys, none of this stuff truly matters. All of these players will be all-stars, but you can just kind of see from these rankings how players actually feel about certain players, how the media feels about certain players. And then obviously if you go by fan ranks, you know how the fans feel about their favorite players. So you guys let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Do you think it was disrespectful for Caitlin to be ranked the way that she is? Do you think it was disrespectful for Leah Boston to be ranked the way that she was? And real quick before I let you go, because this was another big news story yesterday, the Golden State Valkyries have waived Julie Van Loo, and a lot of us were so sad about that news, and a lot of us didn't truly understand it because she had been playing well when she was on the court. And Julie Van Loo is a player who went overseas to play for the Belgium team, and they actually won, I think it's like Euro Cup or Euro Basket. I always forget the exact name, but anyway, she went overseas to play for Belgium. They won the cup, and she actually rushed back after the game to make sure that she could report to the Valkyries and get back on the floor and playing in the WNBA. And she was actually waived while she was on the plane flying back to the United States. She found out about the news via social media. She didn't seem like she had any indication that this was coming. And here's what she had to say on social media. She said, "Literally just touched down in the Bay. I need some time to process all of this, man, and put my feelings into words. I can't right now," with a bunch of broken heart emojis. And there were a lot of athletes who actually came to her defense and were saying this is so messed up. Emma Mason was one who posted on her Instagram, and she said, "Never forget that athletes are also human." Now, Mason is one that I know a lot of people are wishing that she would go to the Indiana Fever. She is somebody who is still available to be picked up by multiple teams, and some people were wondering, is this going to sway overseas players from coming to play in the W if they realize just how expendable that they are? Now, this is such an unfortunate situation, and am I advocating for teams to work in this type of way? No. However, we have seen this so many times in the NBA. And again, you guys, I'm not saying that this makes any of this right, but this happens so often in the NBA. We even just saw the news today that Damian Lillard was waived by the Milwaukee Bucks, and Giannis didn't even know about it. We saw the Luka trade that happened during this NBA season. It happens so much in professional sports, and it seems like the WNBA is kind of following suit. These players need to protect themselves. They need to understand that this is a business, and this is horrible. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. However, for WNBA fans who are maybe new to the sport, new to watching, this kind of stuff is going to happen. And as the league continues to grow and more money starts to be involved in the league, more and more of these sorts of things will be happening. So I guess I'm just saying that to tell you guys to brace yourself, because this isn't the last time we are going to see something like this. This isn't going to be the last time that maybe one of our favorite players is waived or traded when we feel like they don't deserve it, or we feel like it was mismanaged by the higher ups at the team. So I just want to put that out there. I hope that Julie Van Loo lands on her feet, finds another team, and it's really sad to see. But with that, you guys, that is all that I have for you today. So let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Ooh, and